Coming over the top. And here we go. Side up their target. Get a line, do a little bit of wiggle because of the optimization. S2's flying too. Oh, that hurts. Here we are, we're doing more tournament games. We are in what is, in my opinion, the height of the tournament. We have Ride of the Black Horse, the original Coliseum crew, Captain Chaos, Mungo Parker, Crow, and Dramus, versus Cosmic Express, the second wave of the Coliseum group, or kind of the core of the second wave, I should say. Kalmia, Quinobean, Quiz, and Highball. This is the battle I've been looking forward to most out of this entire tournament, is watching these teams smash heads. I was hoping to see them in the finals. We're in the quarters now. And buddy, that's good enough. I'm just happy to see him fight at all with how many teams there were in this game. It was entirely possible that one of them would get knocked out before running into each other. And both teams siding up in the standard honeycomb opening across this big open diagonal here, the big 450 brawl that unfolds under Charlie Point. And we are going to go through these fleets. We're going to go through them quick as we can. I imagine things are going to kick off quite rapidly. Quiz dropping down with a carrier. Normally you see this man in caps. What are the cap player? Probably Callie? Yeah. Okay, let's get to it. Quiz, Laparunak. Few sturgeons, shitload of barracudas, pair of skiffs. Quinto, double Ocellos, 450s, a little bit of hard kill, a little bit of soft kill. And some anti-jam as well, with a couple floodlights. Highball, also rocking 450 bulkers. Got some 120 or 100 mil T20 sidearms, supported with one LRT and one nearly naked capping shuttle. Callie rocking the missile anchor monitor and a cap fleet. Got a C90 on the nose, Pavis on the sides, and two missile launchers above and below. Two multi-mission tugs. Also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gun capping shuttles. All-rounders, T20, soft kill box, Pavis. That's the OSP team. Let's start going through ANS. Captain Chaos in, of course, a battleship. 450s with some SDM support on the nipple mounts here. It's also got a support frig with a little bit of everything. Some Sarissa, some Bullseye, and some more anti-craft support. I thought this thing had jamming on it, but I guess not. This is a spy frig. It's going to be useful. Have some of the friends and family in the chat for one of these teams. Looks like Crow has a 450 Axford, kind of a brawling build, empty backpack, and good hard kill. We've also got a pair of railguns and one nearly naked spy frig. Okay, the fighting has started. Dramus has the cap fleet for this team. Mark 64 Voxel, a couple support sprinters, beam destroyer, and a few capping sprinters with guns and some missiles between them. And Mungo rocking double Axford. They got 250s on back, 450s up front, hard kill all around. Both teams spoiling for that mid fight already. Looks like we got some missiles out on the Echo side of the map. ANS completely abandoning Delta. Gonna let Callie grab the D point for free with one of those shuttles. Sprinter CL escort. Nope, rebound, bullseye, pair of blankets on the escort. Destroyer's gonna hard kill everything on Echo. And Crow's Jorg, what's the password? Just gonna hang out here. Actually, this is Dramus, I see. Dramus has the... Oh, this fucking goons. Look at these fleet tags. So Chaos has Mungo's tag, Crow has Chaos's tag, Dramus has Crow's tag, and Mungo has Dramus's tag. Just to fuck with people. Beyond cursed. OSP has gone after the Charlie point, but they're eating quite a bit of RPF and 450 fire. Both these shells taking a ton of damage, and they're not going to be able to secure that Charlie point, while the Soupy Colon is up here capturing Charlie. Oh my god, have they taken each other's... I think they've taken each other's naming conventions too. Okay, no. It's just Dramus with... Crow's naming shit. This is so cursed, dude. Oh my goodness. Wing of Barracudas comes up to the Charlie point and does kill the Soupy Colon, which is good because I don't want to have to say that name ever again. They need some SDMs and take quite a few losses. That will enable OSP to secure the Charlie point uncontested, as long as the menu can stay alive. Oh, they absolutely did, DXP. They absolutely did. Friends, my comrades, my teammates, and this is exactly the sort of behavior I expect from them. ANS immediately thrown onto the back foot as OSP storms onto the map and grabs everything except for the alpha point, which is ANS's natural. Looks like ANS does have the option to grab Echo, as those shuttles did get out onto the map and did take a lot of points, but many of them have been spent. Already lost 3 of them, basically. This one on Charlie is presumably going to get killed here very soon. But both the Board and the Corn Wild have been K-killed, so they can't recover. There's also the Brass up here, which is probably going to die soon, too. There goes the menu. And as Lobster has so astutely seen, ANS and OSP have pretty comparable ship counts, so OSP can't really afford to be throwing away shuttles like they often can. Some cruise S2s, presumably launched out of the monitor. And coming around the mountain after the capital blob. But unfortunately, I have a feeling that this Axford and those 2 destroyers are going to handle this quite effectively, just with defenders. There's a little bit of flack there, but... Oh, I see. These are all Axfords. 3 Axfords. Everybody with their... God damn it. Everybody switching around their color schemes. Messing with my ability to cast and know what's going on. I looked at the color on that and I was like, oh yeah, that's Crow's rail destroyers, but no, Crow's taking Chaos's colors. Looks like the MLS2 monitor is in a really bad position. It's trying to cover the Echo side of the map, but it's put itself into the open, is eating rail fire and 450 fire, and this thing does not really have the damage control to take care of that, although it does have more DC than I was expecting. ANS down 1 sprinter, realistically down 2 sprinters. This isn't going anywhere ever again. SP down 4 shuttles, and they look like they might be losing one of their missile monitors here before too long. 450 duel has been going on up top for a while, but we're at far enough range that I don't think anybody's taking much damage. Yeah, even Anthem for No State, a Bulker, which, you know, normally these things can't dodge, has not taken much damage. I don't think ANS is able to secure a lock. And of course, the Axfords on the flip side are able to just free dodge for the most part. Oh, these don't even have that great of a drive setup. Dragonfly Radar? It's not a dodging drive setup. But it doesn't matter anyways! Anatase with 1 Dragonfly and no Raiders. Really can't dodge. Seems to be fine, though. Quite strange, quite strange. Sturgeon's out onto the map. We got a wing of 8 here. That is the juicy number. Getting capital kills. Although with ANS bunched up like this, I don't know how effective these are going to be. I like the paint scheme. Paint scheme looks cool on the Sturgeons. Look at that. No joy on that skiff attempt. Skiff able to spot almost the entire NS fleet back here in that position. Your history in Rust. Getting quite a bit of fire now. And 19 taking much meaningful damage on their primary assets. Just yet. Huge volume of SDMs going after the skiff. And it does go down. It can't stand up to all of those. Like some Barracudas going around the backside trying to get something done as well. Riders of the Black Horse doesn't really do much with carriers. But they do have quite a bit in the way of anti-carrier weaponry. Party is also making a play around the backside of the map. Ooh, that's a lot of STMs getting fired into a rock. Gotta be careful with those. Very expensive. Some... Uh-oh. Some missiles coming for the rail destroyers, and they don't have any hard kill on them. Very nice spotting from Kalmia there, because these are not on the radar. So she's gone purely with visual data, or just seeing the rail slugs come in. I'm feeling this is going to be a very important missile strike if these land. I don't think Croza realizes these are on the way. Does have some damage control teams, so isn't going to immediately burn down and die. These are going to be fine. I wasn't expecting these to actually have DC teams. I saw these externals and I was like, oh no. They have no capacity to survive this. Ram is floating around. S2 strike up here. Yeah, they're still fine. Damaged. It's interesting that the missiles are splitting up between 2 of them, and I think that's what's saving them. Because if 4 missiles would have slammed into 1, there would have been a lot more permanent damage dealt. The Sturgeons are finally ready to go for it. On this Voxel, the vain and narcissistic. Bombs and R3s. Yeah, these definitely can't stand up to that, and the Voxel's taking quite a bit of damage already. Coming over the top. And here we go. Side up their target. Get a line, do a little bit of wiggle because of the optimization. S2's flying too. Oh, that hurts. Vision's gonna fly PD range of the spicy vibes. Yeah, that's the vain and narcissistic. Not dead, but nearly. Spicy vibes also dead. KBUs will probably finish it off. There it goes. That's a big win for the OSP team there. I needed that strike to happen. They're up 3-2 on caps. They're up 150 points, and they just took out the primary asset defending the alpha point, and now that opens up the party to pounce onto A and get a... Oh, I guess not. Looks like in the meantime that got murdered by the voxel. Well, just a little too late on that that Sturgeon strike. I think the Roach is down here. Yeah, this is still alive. How's the Capital Brawl going? Okay, Anthem for no state. Pretty bruised. History and Rust is pretty bruised. The Axfords are mostly unharmed. They've actually... Wow. This is really unlucky. Most of the damage has gone into the ammo elevators, which is pretty important in these long-range engagements. What are the fucking chances of that? Another S2 strike going around the horn. I think those... Oh yeah, that's a little too aggressive with that backline leading, or maybe not. They're gonna come out of that swing, and some of them are gonna fly into the void, but a couple of them are gonna go detect this Axford. Unfortunately, Axford does actually have point defense, unlike these goofy-ass rail destroyers with DC but no PD, and that can handle that quite fine. How are the rail destroyers doing today? Yeah, they're damaged, but ultimately fine. Very little serious damage has come down on either of these teams yet, although it looks like the Rutile is getting cut out. Doesn't quite have the capability to dodge, so with these bulkers coming around the Charlie plate at this closer range, they can definitely get some damage down the field. It's like Chaos is just going for the Charlie point. So this big fuck-off battleship, I think ANS has managed to figure out that OSP doesn't actually have any plasma. They got a lot of 450, and of course they've got the bombers. This battleship can move up more or less unaccosted. Absolutely annihilating one of Quinto's Ocellos. Looks like this thing's eating a ton of rails too. Yeah, Quiz is gonna have to do that, but unfortunately Ardent Flight is completely out of munitions, and he's got to get another Wing of Sturgeons up, which it looks like he already has. In fact, we might be seeing a little bit of a prophecy come true here as the planes bomb the battleship. Is Sarissa going to be bullying them a little bit? I think the battleship might also be out of SDMs. It's not firing any. Just one. OSP not really able to deal with that. All it takes is... Gonk. Yeah, that keel presented towards enemy is a huge problem for this battleship. And it's fucked. Extremely out of position there. Which I think has been kind of the common experience here with the battleship players. The whole tournament. Just pushing their battleships forward a little too far forward. And we see this in pub games all the time as well. And getting them bombed to smithereens. Virgin good. Yeah, that thing's not realistically going to be able to resurrect itself. I mean, it can kind of zombie back a little bit, but in this position, it's just going to get shot by 450 and die. Too far up. If it was in the back line and got bombed, the rest of the team might be able to cover for it. But this battleship is up much farther than anybody else on this whole team. Alpha points open. It looks like the team's moving up to rescue Chaos. But in doing so, they're kind of abandoning their cover over Alpha. The Roach is going to be able to fly up here and start capturing it. I don't think there's anything in a position to deal with that either. Looks like Kami is also bringing around one of the multi-mission tugs over to the Echo Point to try and cap that. Well, this Beam Destroyer is over here. You can't deny it. I think it's a little too far away from Alpha, though. Battleship. Yeah, it just takes a little bit of that 450 follow-up to kill that off. Pretty dramatic positional mistake there. Aim overplay. And entirely unnecessary as well. Still in the first half of the game. ANS is down, but they're not down by so much that they have to throw a battleship onto mid. Victory ports are part of the onion. Yeah, no, that's a good way of looking at it. I don't think ANS was quite in the position where they had to push. Not yet. That's another like 3 or 4 minutes off. But they certainly, obviously, they felt like they did. Had to get something done. And at this point, OSP can kind of roll up the rest of the map. Because ANS has all their... I've seen this on Honeycomb happen a lot. Where ANS concentrates everything and they never, ever, ever split up. And OSP plays Ring Around the Rosie around the rock. And just fucks all the front line. So these Axfords are going to move up to save the battleship. And get murdered by 450 at close range. Rails and more 450 supporting fire, but ANS is down a pretty huge chunk of its military forces. And almost all of its capping assets as well. Looks like Era of Toxic Positivity. It's still technically alive on the Charlie Point. Where are these going? I see, going for the Beam Destroyer. The Defender and Aurora, 2 Auroras. Jameis does manage to secure the Echo Point. And ANS just no contesting Delta, I think, was a huge mistake. Oh, oops. Not arranged. Speaking of mistakes. Well, that's the end of the Neb playlist. Let's start it from the top! Because the music is fucking great. I think we are moving into kind of the closing part of this game. OSP really just needs to bring it home. At this point, ANS is very much on the back foot. This stupid Ocello has 2 guns on it in a dream. What's the current score? Well, you can see that at the top of the screen. 440 to 638. Imperial watching the stream with his eyes closed today, again. Probably, but... Where's the fun if I can't harass my little nerd buddy? This is the first game, this is the first match of the set. And I think we've kind of covered everything. The current state of Honeycomb kind of reminds me of the early days of Yukon. Where there's a very common way that the matches unfold, And there's a handful of people who are like, well, the map's bad because this is just how the games play out. And you don't have to play them out like this. This game didn't have to go this way. We've seen this happen a lot. ANS teams ball up here, push towards the Charlie point, and then just die on the way. And no one thinks, oh, you know, maybe what if we did something weird? What if we brought a bunch of, like, light ships and played fuck games? Yeah, like, this is very OSP favored playstyle. And meanwhile, the most successful games we've seen on Honeycomb are ones with heavy voxel presence and jamming, or Beam Destroyer Hell, or even Sprinter Blob Madness. It is a little unfortunate to see things play out in kind of the classic fashion. Yeah, Kemi's getting a lot better at the missile gameplay, which I'm always happy to see. Speaking of things I'm happy to see, it's things die to airplanes. Fly, Mongo. Yeah. Fly, Mongo. I think Rise of the Black Horse's refusal to use craft is really going to bite him in the ass. Could you imagine what a levy just full to the brim of coil tentos would have done to this fucking carrier fleet? Annihilated. Annihilated. That's ANS down to one, well, maybe three-fourths of an Axford and one other Axford. SP is still fat and happy. I'm sure they've got a couple reloads worth of bombs. Oh, yeah. One flight is out right now, in fact. Got one mostly functional. A Cello, though it can be knocked over with a stiff breeze. Two, wow, extremely healthy bulkers have been eating 450 fire this whole game. One other T-Tog, one missile monitor that's surely out of ammo by now. Yeah. Mid-T and a gun shuttle. This stage, I think ANS needs a 5 cap to win, and I don't really think they have the ships to do that. Especially not with the spy frigs eating some light strike from the Barracudas. Okay, blue team is calling it. One game goes to Cosmic Express, the new bloods of the Coliseum. They're not so new anymore, of course. It's been a couple years. But I don't know. I always think of them as the kids. Which is funny because Quiz was playing well before the Coliseum even started. Yeah, very little damage here out of that battleship. It's a bit painful. Oh, it apparently had planes and it never even launched those. Nebulous.